way, the Pope is now making it church policy. Attention sleep apnea sufferers. Hate your painful, irritating CPAP mask? Tired of trying different masks without success? Now there's a unique CPAP solution that can end your nightly discomfort. Invented by a CPAP patient who hated CPAP. It has no straps and no headgear, which means no more pain. Go to nomask.com. That's nomask.com to discover this incredible product and eliminate your CPAP torture. That's nomask.com. NOMASK.com.
We ask people to write down the things they love to do most on these balloons.
The group.
Travel with my daughter.
Roller derby?
The norm.
Now, give up half of them.
Do I have to?
When do you
This is a
become
tough financial choice we could face when we retire.
or follow the
But if we start
path
saving even just 1% more of our annual
of an
income,
individual?
we could keep doing all the things we love.
The conflicts of interest.
Prudential, bring your challenges.
Which side pulls you the most?
Trump continues to take shape. So how will they shape policy both here and abroad? Tonight, it's a must-see header.
Everybody say they're their own man.
A fresh start. Because Time Warner Cable.
But when it comes to making decisions,
with promises to
they
make,
generally,
promises to
whether they understand it or not,
and over 90,000 employees working hard every day
goes toward the
earn
popular
business. Welcome to America's fastest growing TV, internet,
of their
and voice provider. Welcome to
surroundings.
Have you had surgery in the last 10 years? Did your doctor implant an
A
IVC
black man
filter
that
to
be
trap
around a
blood
black,
clots?
be
You may be
around black
entitled to
people,
compensation.
black
Don't
men,
wait. Call Celino and Barnes.
listening
The
to
filter
black
may
men.
move or break, and
Most of
metal
their life
fragments
is
could
tending to
travel
go
your heart,
toward black
lungs,
men's
or other organs,
conversation.
which can result in serious injury or even death.
You put
If
that
you or a
same,
loved one
you put
received
that
an
same
IVC
black man
filter and
around
have
white
experienced complications, you may
people,
be entitled to compensation. Call now.
and within time, you will start hearing that black person
Dad's a Gen Xer.
say some things that white people would say.
Feeding 1.5 children. As binge watchers of cooking shows, the Campbells average 14 commercials an hour.
Then you turn
And
around
Reach,
and put
it's
that
our
same
job
black
to make sure
person
they never see yours.
on a
Because
stage
you're a butcher shop,
by himself,
and the Campbells are
by
vegans.
himself,
So, meet the Lamberts. Get more from your marketing.
and
Talk
ask
to
him the
white
exact
customers
same
for your
question
business.
from
Time
both
Warner Cable
scenarios.
Media is now Spectrum Reach.
You will hear a mixture of both sides coming out of him.
My life was out of control. And then my doctor diagnosed me with type 2 diabetes. And I knew
Until he
something.
realizes
Procedure I chose at West Medical
where he lay his
changed
head
my
at.
life. Now I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I can finally keep up with Rocky.
And if that is
Thank
not
you
the
so much,
case,
West Medical.
Call today for your free insurance
Who-
verification and to find a seminar near you. 1-800-WEST-MED.
he favors the most.
Hi everyone, I'm Heather Noward. A manhunt intensifies for the suspect in the killing of a Texas police officer. As 4 different cities have 4 different
In the case of this country going on right now and all this political stuff be going on,
Plus, as Donald Trump continues to meet with potential
that
members of his
stereotype that I just threw out there
President-elect Mike Pence arrives at the transition office in D.C.
has been
just
thrown out
blocks
the
from
window.
White House, where they're live in both places with the agendas. And we'll talk swamp creatures and just how many there are in Washington,
More
D.C.
than
with
expected
Chris Stirewalt,
has went
America's
to the
news headquarters.
individual
That's at the
thoughts
top of the hour. Please join us. See you then.
more so than going to the popular
Well, a major announcement
opinion.
from Pope Francis allowing Catholic priests to forgive women
More
who
people have
abortions.
spoke their
Fox News
own
radio
mind
correspondent
this
Warren Green
time
has more from our New
than
York
anybody has
Hey, Donald,
expected,
this is
and it has
Pope
thrown
Francis
everybody for a
transforming the
loop.
Catholic Church into his vision of mercy as he announces that from now on,
The
any
most
brand new
popular
priest,
for the
not
black
bishop,
man is
can
to
absolve
say
one
that
who confesses to having an
we are
abortion.
oppressed,
Pope Francis made this
racist,
declaration
this,
in
that,
an
and the other.
apostolic letter as he concluded the
The
extraordinary
non-popular
year
for the
of
black
mercy.
man to
It
say,
stands
hold up,
indefinitely
man,
when
I
death
need a
appears
job.
an act of grace
I'm
for what
struggling in
was
my
overplayed
house.
sin. Francis writing,
You
"There
know,
is no
and,
sin that
and,
God's
and after
mercy
listening to
cannot
both
be
of these
wiped away when
candidates
finds a repentant heart
talk,
seeking to be reconciled."
once I get through all the crap, I realize that only one side is actually offering me jobs. The other side is offering me feelings and everything for which I already know and is fanning that.
participated in the procedure. The letter
So
also makes clear
I
that
have
the
to
church
look
has
at my
not
household.
lessened its view on the sacredness of life. Francis also
And
writing,
this
"I wish
time,
to restate
stereotypes
as firmly
go
as I
out the
can that
window,
abortion
and
is
it's
a great
actually
sin,
about their
since it puts
pockets.
an end to an innocent life." But in the past
Who is
writings,
best
Pope
going to
Francis
help my
acknowledged that for
pockets
some
at the
women,
end of the
the
day
decision to abort is
if they're
agonizing
able to
and
do what
painful.
they say they're going to
Abortion
do?
is viewed as such a mortal sin in the church that it carried the penalty
The
of
other thing that messed
excommunication.
all this
That
stuff up
penalty
in the
still
mind
stands. The
of a lot of
difference
people
if a person confesses and
is
is
the
fully
messenger
penitent, any priest can
of these
extend the
things.
mercy of forgiveness. John?
You got one
Thanks very much.
who comes to me every time and tells me they're going to do all this wonderful stuff for me, and every time, the only thing I get is nothing but handouts that barely sustains me. Really ain't sustaining me. If it wasn't for my individual hustle, I wouldn't be able to sustain that. Versus another person that says, look, I don't know what you're going to do. I know I'm going to bring jobs and stuff back around here. It's up to you to get the jobs. The only thing I can do is bring it to you. I'm going to do everything in my power to bring you jobs. You know, if you take the jobs, things could get better for you. If you don't, that's on you.
We've crafted an all-inclusive, truly
But I am going to bring you jobs there.
that's in a class by itself.
So you look at the two options, and you make an individual choice. But the only way a person can make that choice, they got to get through all this noise that's going on.
Iconic itineraries with overnight
You know,
stays curated as only
You know,
Crystal
we want to holler this and holler that and all that, but and then they try to bring up our current president, who will soon be our ex-president. What they're not understanding is that this man is not running up for president. He's not going to control the next 4 years, possibly 8 years. The person who would be controlling the next 4 to 8 years, I'm going to say their names is Clinton or Trump.
You've heard me talk about how smart it is to buy silver. Well, there's a growing demand.
You know,
for
it ain't
silver
about. It wasn't about
right
Obama.
now, silver is very affordable with room to grow in value.
You know, it was either Clinton or Trump. More the same or something different.
Buying silver has been an important way to accumulate wealth for thousands of years.
In this case,
and a great way to start investing.
Trump
There
won.
are silver coins, silver bars, and even
Surprised the hell out of everybody.
And Roslyn has them all. And with Roslyn, what you order is what
And then you
get.
then you
No
think to
gimmicks,
yourself,
no
why?
nonsense, no hassle. I like that, and so will you.
I
When it comes to
look
buying
at it.
gold or
I look
silver,
at it as
well,
basic
Roslyn
as I
has
possibly
it.
can.
What's in your state?
Call now and get a free
You
gold
look
kit,
at the
a free
last
silver kit, and a free IRA
2000,
transfer kit.
2004, 2008, 2012, even now, 2016 election. Each one of those elections, for the most part, had the popular vote versus the electoral college vote issue. One even came down to a hanging chad out of the state of Florida. That's how tight it was.
The Black & Decker 2-in-1 cordless stick and hand vacuum.
Nobody has gotten a 199% mandate.
Filter Sense alerts you
Nobody.
to clean the filter. Clean smarter, not harder.
When Obama came in, he came in a close race to Hillary Clinton.
That's my holiday.
He had control of the House and the Senate for 2 years, and then it was game on.
I'm like, what?
They lost it the next year, that next election. He lost complete control.
It's what makes
The
Thanksgiving
first 2 years of his control, he had an agenda, and that was to get Affordable Care, Obama, as known as Obamacare.
Works every time.
That was his thing.
Time now for our final 30 on this Monday. NFL
In those 2 years, that's what he
warming up
managed.
football fans in Mexico with
After that,
They took over
it was executive orders.
Tonight's matchup between the Oakland Raiders and Houston Texans in Mexico City.
The election wasn't. Well, Obama was not running in this race. It was Clinton
What do you think? You ready
and
for
Trump.
some yoga or some football?
Clinton lost, Trump won. You look at the electoral map.
There you go. I'm going to watch the game.
Don't breathe deeply because the Mexico City.
This is a 50-state country.
That's a very happy thought.
And when you look at across the whole United States,
There you go. Well, you know what? I'll see you back here tomorrow.
you look at where the red is at, and where the blue is at.
Headquarters starts now.
And it's clear that it was only 2 areas of blue with spots of blue here and there. But that map looked as red as all know what. If it was just left up to the popular vote, then California and the New York Eastern Seaboard would be the only place that matters. Period. This map even proved that Florida doesn't matter as much as people thought it did.
We have been hearing a little bit, Heather, and it's from 2 different camps. The one camp would be people like former Massachusetts Senator Scott Brown,
and even because Florida even went red,
job he's in the running for, Secretary
and they still had the popular vote.
I think the toughest job in the cabinet is
and what I'm trying to tell you is, or what I'm trying to say is that if it wasn't for that, the whole United States would not even matter no more. It would be just these 2 corners of our states.
But then there's a second camp.
That's not no United States. The Electoral College is put there to represent all the people that's in the United States. That's a good thing. Obama won it with that electoral college. Clinton won it with that electoral college. Bush won it with that electoral college. McCain lost because of the electoral college. That matter of fact, the McCain race was the only one that was really it wasn't as tight, but it mattered. And the Romney election was electoral college.
Later on in the show, but Peter, I want to ask you about this. Do we have any kind of idea when these final announcements will be made about who will be in the overall cabinet?
It's a balancing act that is required. Then what in the world is the rest of the people matter? You got everybody crammed into these 2 areas in the corners of the world, of the United States. That's going to matter for all people. You go to the Big Apple to live your big dream. You go to California to sit into the sunset.
The executives from 5 major TV networks,
all places in between is where the people live and make things happen. You're going to eliminate that?
By pointing out what he thinks was media bias and really beating up
it's a bad look.
And by the way, we're going to have some great conversations with Uncle Billy over Thanksgiving and Christmas with all these Trump appointments.
It's a matter of something must have awfully been wrong. Something must have awfully been wrong for all those states, all of those states, to decide that Hillary Clinton was not the president.
That Washington hasn't seen in decades.
All of those states. No matter how much you try to build up these 2 corner parts of the United States, all of those states decided.
Tucker Carlson is the anchor of Tucker Carlson Tonight. It airs
obviously something was wrong.
Eastern, right here on the Fox News channel. Tucker, love your new show. Congratulations. Very rarely do we get to see.
And I'm not going to get into this racist stuff because that wasn't an issue.
Now we're seeing it. What do you think of how it's all going down?
Quite frankly, Trump leaned up and down every single person he could find. From Republicans to Democrats to black to whites to Muslims to Mexicans to neighbors and cousins. He leaned up and down everybody. He didn't just isolate himself from one faction. He went off on everybody.
And Trump was returning as well as he got. And to seriously consider him for Secretary of State, and I believe he is being seriously considered, in fact, he's probably the front runner at this stage,
he was elected.
About how Trump's going to govern. I mean,
so let's solve the problem.
It's not Lucy in the football here with Mitt Romney.
And fight.
I think he really is seriously considering it.
politically fight, not physically fight. Politically fight.
But I know for certain that he's been being seriously considered. Yes, that is
for the next election.
You don't know the outcome, and I don't know if Governor Romney is up for it, and there may be other hurdles that we don't know about. But yeah,
and so on.
And by the way, even just the appearance of
we can sit here and complain about this and that all day going day. Quite frankly, it ain't going to make no difference. Complaining, okay, you complain. We've been complaining about the same things that have been going on for years and years and years and years and years. Sitting there complaining.
Well, you know, the mainstream media, they're really snickering about what many consider
opportunity and situation has occurred these last 18 to 20 months that allowed discussion for everything up and down the books.
And they are laughing. Is there any indication that they're getting over?
So the one way to fix it.
Well, the venues
find solutions. If you continue to complain, you continue to boo-hoo, and you continue to say, I don't understand, you're going to be in the same place you was yesterday.
Getting over their loathing of Trump? No. I mean, of course, they despise him.
Find solutions.
And there does seem to be, look, there are things that you should criticize about any president.
Get it together.
Elect for that matter, but there
practice.
Does seem to be proportion missing. So the idea that Trump is
next game is 2 years.
First of all, it's factually untrue. Second, maybe if
play to win.
For the, for something of substance.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of these.
What's the rules of the game? You know the rules of the game.
And then General
play to win.
Possibly as the next head of the Department of Defense. You know, both of them were fired from their previous jobs under the Obama administration.
Because if you keep going down all these isms, the same results is going to occur. I'm here to tell you.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. So Flynn is. I think
you can call me a coon or whatever you want.
Is not as much. I don't know if he's actually Fox, but he is within Marine Corps world.
I saw the game. I saw the game being played out.
Among a lot of people here in Washington, considered a ferocious worker, very smart, strategic.
What it made me do was made me look at what's really going on in my own community, my own race, my own city, my own state, and my own country.
Is not simply are you smart, not simply do you have a plan, but can you manage?
I had the fortune enough to travel this country.
This president tried for
I had the fortune enough to travel this world. I had the fortune enough to be at the top of my. I had the fortune enough to be at a very top level of income, and I had the unfortunate to be at the very bottom of income. I have been praised. I have been criticized. I've been looked at as okay. I've been looked at as nothing but a piece of scum. I have been fortunate enough or not fortunate enough to be on both sides of those aisles. And I'm trying to tell you, if you don't play the game,
well, sure. I mean, that's the whole promise of the Trump administration, that it's such a dramatic shock.
You will be where you are.
That people know, we're not going to put up with any of the
if you continue to complain and whine and
be able to pull it off. I mean,
you're going to get what you get.
The first administration in my lifetime to make massive change. Ronald Reagan couldn't get rid of PBS.
You look at all the areas for which things can happen.
Things you really care about. But if anybody can do what they can,
everything we complain about, we don't want to get involved in.
About 5 hours from now.
Appreciate it.
We're minimum in all civil service-ish jobs. We have a minimum amount of participation. And then when we go to those people, we wonder why we're not represented.
It was one of 4 shootings of police officers that took place.
How is you going to be represented if you don't even want to participate in it?
Officers were also shot in St. Louis.
You're telling all your young people that they are horrible, terrible, and this, that, and the other.
KC Police, they're just speaking out.
But you and you don't even want them to participate in it.
What do we know now?
Well, Heather, they are chasing down.
As a matter of fact, you suggest they tear it down.
No one yet in custody. The officer who was gunned down and died, a 20-year veteran of the San Francisco Police Department,
any sense?
2 adult children. Detectives say Benjamin Marconi,
because to do that, you have to have your own shit together. Excuse my French.
Morning when a car pulled up behind his. A man jumped out, ran
do you have
shooting and killing Detective Marconi, and then
systems in place?
Now look at this very closely. San Antonio police,
and you know you
the
don't.
Suspect was captured on surveillance.
Because in order to do that, you will have to be so organized that even the people around you don't even realize what's going on.
Had some kind of a conversation with the clerk, but
because at the end of the day, that takes 100 plus commitment.
In this particular shooting, other than saying they believe this officer was targeted simply because
it takes absolute commitment. It takes time. It takes years. It takes dedication.
Yeah, and that's why they have put that out there.
And bro, the whole time you're doing that, you still have to live.
And provide some leads in the case. Meantime, police in Missouri and Florida also investigating incidents.
Get mad with me all you want to. I'm just telling you what it is.
Missouri yesterday, one near Kansas City, an officer was shot following a traffic stop, but is expected to be okay. The suspect was killed by officers in a stand-up. The other happening in
you got to let these people participate in the system that we complaining about.
But despite being hurt, the officer
there's a gap in engagement that we're complaining now about inclusion. The gap is widening, and then by the time they get of age to actually make a difference, it ain't gonna be nobody there.
That suspect was ultimately killed.
There ain't gonna be nobody there to represent you.
And then in Florida Sunday evening, an officer with the
in all phases of civil service,
after also finishing a traffic stop. He was treated and released from the hospital. Florida cops say the man who pulled the trigger.
You gotta encourage these young people to get into the civil servant arena.
Suspects in 4 different shootings in America over the weekend. Only one suspect remains on.
Right now, they don't care about nothing in government. Nothing.
I'm just struck listening to you. 4 places around the country, three separate states. How hard it is for those officers to put their lives on the line each and every day, even in small towns.
Absolutely nothing.
Where this is happening, we're thinking of their families.
But they want the free stuff that the government can give them.
A months-long protest taking a sudden and violent turn. Police forced to use water cannons in bitter cold temperatures as temperatures flare in North Dakota. So why is this happening now? And one of the first priorities of the Trump
I want some of that free stuff. I think everybody wants some of that free stuff. You know, let's be for real. You know, if you're gonna do, that, I mean, and the thing about it is, people need it. You got people that work jobs or people that get Social Security checks that still needs food stamps. Think about that. Because their Social Security check or their welfare check, that's not paying no daggone rent. The job they working in, they got to work 2 or 3 jobs, or the job they working is sustained off that one job. They making sure that they can pay rent and get their little food and have their bus fare or whatever, or whatever, gas fare, whatever, to get to work the next day. That's it.
People to invest in hard assets, to get their plan together, and to really understand the context behind
everything else. They hustling the money.
Leader Capital for your free report and discover how hard assets like gold and silver can help protect your savings.
They moving money around.
You can get up to $500 in free gold or silver.
It can't go on forever. And when it bursts,
that's just the way it is.
In all of human history.
This offer ends soon. Call 1-800-654-1010. 1-800-654.
So as bad as you want to talk about your government,
our company colors are black and white for a reason.
you're living off your government. You want it free. You don't care how they pay for it. What you don't understand is your mothers and fathers and cousins and brothers, the ones that actually go out and work, or the house you're actually staying in, chilling, it's coming out of their pocket. They got to pay the taxes.
Are you
in order to keep their house.
You're putting off neck or back surgery?
Or that car.
Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, To learn how
or if you got some lady or somebody got a little small business going on that's doing it a little store somewhere every 3 months, what you think they doing? They kicking out that tax money.
When you're in that much pain and you live on painkillers, you really don't have.
So that time they tell you, look, I don't have no money, boy. I gotta pay these bills in order to keep what I got. Y'all acting like y'all don't understand that, and now I know why. You don't.
Call 1-800-467-BACK now for your no-cost MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision.
There ain't no game out here. People struggling, and let me be perfectly clear. Not all, but I'm telling you, a lot of people fronting. They act like they got this and they got that and they doing this and they doing that. No, man, they fronting. I hate to tell you that. I mean, some of them, yeah, they doing them. But a lot of people fronting.
Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines, 24/7. Channel 115.
I just want y'all to deliver it, and I'm just speaking from what I'm saying is, realistic. You look at these jobs. You look at jobs. Let's look at the truck driving business. Think about it. We got a lot of people that drive trucks for a living, right? Every time you drive your car, you see trucks riding around, delivering all these goods everywhere. Somebody got to be driving them trucks, right? You do realize that they got an automatic truck driver now. You do realize they get ready to change the industry where they don't only have to use their computerized truck drivers now. So what happens to those drivers? That the ones that stay a week, 2 weeks or so out on the road, so that they can have that house, y'all, that nice house. That nice car that y'all are using while he on the road.
He's far smarter than Harry Reid and has the ability to get things done. Good news.
What's going to happen when he loses his job? And now he's home every day. And he say, no, what you doing? Get out of my car. Why y'all up in my house?
U.S. Army Airborne Ranger, and thank you, sir, for your service. Mercedes, let's start with you. Can Donald Trump get anything done? If so, what?
You look at I mean, they just came out with a little courtesy helper that'll walk you to the aisles. You know, and I can imagine them in the Walmarts and the Home Depots of the world.
Normally they don't filibuster.
You know, we look at that little courtesy person that works at the door, and we walk by them. But that's a job for that person. So imagine if they put 10 of those things inside those stores. You know, they just put 10 or 15 of those things in their stores. They ain't got to pay no salary. They ain't got to pay no health care. Only thing they got to do is pay their gas and electric and the maintenance man to make sure that it's kept up.
And I remind you that 47% stayed home and did not
You expendable, brother.
48% voted for Hillary Clinton. She won the popularity.
You are expendable.
So when I say mainstream,
and they saying, come to me, I'll help you, I'll give you a little check here and there, I'll give you a little this. Stay home, don't worry about it.
Garland has been in the process for 250 days with no traction.
Right, and that brings us, Mercedes, to that
Think about
issue,
that.
Merrick Garland, and that had been held up by Republicans. So could Republicans potentially see some
You know,
payback?
I understand.
Well, that's, I think, what the Democrats are thinking.
Yeah.
I think that there's a spread because
I
of
don't
the
know.
fact
I think it's just a lot of things that y'all arguing about. and y'all worried about that. Y'all ain't looking at the big picture at all. At all. Y'all acting blind as bats. And then you got, I ain't even go about nothing overseas. Or the balance of power when it do come to races, to the different races. You know what I'm saying? The balance of power has changed. And you're still in the same place, basically. You know, in the balance of power in the workforce,
like I said, I hope we get a more mainstream candidate.
You lost ground, brother.
More mainstream Americans and not just the fringe.
You're not the top of the line no more.
We need someone who can protect.
You're not what is the main concern no more, brother.
All right, guys, we're going to have to leave it there. This conversation, though, will certainly be ongoing. We got a lot to talk about.
That's why.
And Robin, thank you so much.
That's why the balance of power, or that map changed the way it was, because people who had individual thought recognized it. And it's saying, even if it doesn't work out all the way, the change, it was needed, because the way it was going, there was no way we was getting out of it. At least with this shakeup,
for over 200 years, the stock market has been going up and
the
down.
opportunity and the chance is there. What we do with it, that's on us. You know, whatever.
Is that what you want? Get your investors getting learn how to never.
But the opportunity is here.
And earn a reasonable rate of return.
It was presented before us, and the free thinking people said, we're going to do this. I know it ain't popular. I know we're going to get ostracized.
You wouldn't put up with part of a pizza.
But we're looking ahead.
When it comes to pain relievers, why put up with just part of a day?
Because what y'all fail to realize, that even if
I did it. I joined eHarmony.
50% of the things that he said he's going to do gets done, is a good thing.
Sign me up.
Stop waiting. Start communicating for free today.
50% of doing the same thing wasn't doing us any good. It really wasn't. Because the balance of power has shifted. And I hate to say power, but the balance of workforce power has shifted. And it will continue to shift. Because the jobs that we took for granted, combined with the jobs that we already proclaimed we would never do, others have stepped up and said we would do it, and we would do it proudly. And we would do it for less money. So that puts your worth in the workforce, I mean. It's like, I'm an employer. This person said they'd do this for this amount. This person said they'd do this for this amount. But it comes with this restriction, this restriction, this restriction, this restriction. I'm an employer, especially a small business employer. I'm looking at this like, hold up. I'm not going to openly say that I'm going to hire these people. But my goodness. Yeah. Let me hire these people. And then you're over here wondering, well, I'm not getting no job. Well, I'm this, well, I'm that. Get mad with me all you want to. Get mad with me all you want to. Yeah. You know, you try to talk about the street game, I keep trying to say everybody's not built for that. They just doing that because they got to try to survive.
Welcome back. Police
Working too goddamn hard.
Hundreds of protesters
even in that business.
The demonstrators described as very aggressive.
Even in that business.
As they tried to outflank and attack law enforcement barricades. Our chief correspondent
Who cares if y'all take each other out?
Hey, Heather, protesters, we understand, are gathering again right now in the same bridge where those clashes occurred last night in what the local then described as, quote, an ongoing...
Man, you don't know what you're talking about.
Trying to push past the bridge that has been blocked since late October. Some 400 protesters in all were involved in the clashes. Some of them
I'm just saying, even if you feel I don't know what I'm talking about, at least look for both sides and see if I know what I'm talking about.
To force the crowd back, a nearby gym was open to help protesters who were soaked by the water on a night when temperatures fell into the low 20s.
It's amazing.
A spokesman for the Morton County Sheriff's Department says the water hoses were used to put out fires set by the protesters and to keep some of them described as violent away